Hey, welcome to another great episode of Get in the Flow. I'm the architect.
This is Doc.
Hey, we're gonna have an amazing show for you today. So get ready to get in the flow.
Awesome.
Hey, Quentin, thank you so much, man. We had such a great time with you in part one yesterday. And, you dropped some incredible nuggets on us talking about the mistakes that people make when they invest in Airbnb. And, man, today we just want to get into, well, we saw the mistakes. Well, how do people actually make any money in Airbnb? What are three non-negotiable things they have to do to be successful?
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for having me back.
Absolutely.
The mistakes are one thing, but I think you can get over a lot of the mistakes if you do a lot of things right. So I've got three major things to be successful. The number one thing is to build a good team. So
Okay.
what my team looks like right now, I've got an executive assistant, I've got a full-time maintenance crew, cleaning team. They handle all of our cleanings, and then a cleaning manager.
Okay.
That's my team. That enables me to work only around an hour a day on my portfolio.
Wow.
And they're taking care of, almost 40 properties by themselves.
Wow.
So that's one of the biggest things. Second biggest thing is to never invest with speculation. If you're not completely confident in the market, if you have no experience there, and I spoke a little bit about this yesterday. We went into Arizona. We dropped $150,000 at one time on 7 properties, and within 3 months, we were losing 20 grand a month.
Wow.
And one of the biggest problems is we didn't know our numbers. We didn't invest confidently. We had no idea what the market was actually going to bring. People were telling us that it was doing well, but looking back now, they just didn't want to tell us exactly how bad it was.
Wow.
So that was a.
Looking back on that, what would you do differently?
Yeah.
So what I would have done differently, the number one thing, start with one unit. So
Okay. Yeah.
just like we did here, we started with one, I proved the concept, then I began to grow. So we would start with one. Once it started to do well, then we might have gone in with another one, and then 2 more, and then 4 more, and just kind of continue to double it in that way, so that we're not investing with speculation and we're not coming in with so many potential liabilities at once.
Right. That's
Jeez,
amazing.
That's huge.
amazing.
That's huge.
All right. So what's our third thing?
Yeah, third.
Third thing is, when something works, double down on it. Don't continue to spread out. So again, it goes back to the Arizona thing. We were crushing it here, but the promise of something better in Arizona took our eyes off of our golden goose. We started chasing all the other birds in the field, and we went to Arizona, started losing 20 grand a month. And before we knew it, we had to use our profits from North Carolina just to make up for our losses in Arizona, which
Did you
put
get
us in a. Oh yeah, we got it turn around. That was the middle of last year. So since then we dropped all those units. We sold off the furniture, and then we've doubled down in our area now. And we've spread out a little bit to like the Charlotte markets. Those are doing very well. But it just reminded me to focus on what works, and don't make it too complicated.
Got it.
That is really good. Can you go over your team? I'm taking notes personally right now. Can you go ahead back into your team, what your team looks like, and maybe like a little bit of story behind it? Like, how did you know to get it to that extent? Obviously probably a lot of trial and error, but now it seems like it's incredibly tuned up. What did that look like, and what are those components again?
Yeah, definitely. So our team right now consists of my executive assistant. She takes care of all the messaging, paying bills, keeping me on task within our company.
That's a full-time job.
Definitely. And then we've got our cleaning manager. She manages all the cleaning crews. So we take care of our cleaning in-house. We actually have a separate cleaning business. She runs that. Then I have a full-time maintenance guy.
So you said that she works for you.
Yeah, she works for me. Yep.
So was that always the case?
Yes. Well, once we got to around 15 units is when I started building a cleaning company myself. because we just couldn't find a company that would do what I wanted to keep our quality up to par.
Got it.
They wouldn't follow a checklist like I asked them to. They would cut corners. I mean, at one time we had a cleaner, and we realized that she was paying her girls like $40 per house, and they had 45 minutes to get in to try to clean the sheets. If they weren't able to, they sprayed them with Lysol and then folded them back over. Exactly. And you just can't, when you can't have things like that happen in a hospitality business, it'll ruin you. So that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. And I was like, I need to take control of this process.
Right.
And that's when we decided to start our own company and train our own employees. Now they're trained to our system. They have a checklist that they check off. They send in pictures every time they clean. So that increased our cleaning quality just from our ratings on Airbnb by over 10%.
Wow.
The minute we established that.
Wow. So how did you find out that they were spraying them with Lysol?
I hired one of her employees.
And she told you that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you didn't find this out until later?
No, not until later. No, I mean, we knew that the cleaning quality wasn't there because we were getting complaints, but I didn't know that she was not cleaning bedding and just skipping corners everywhere they could.
Wow.
Okay, a component to look out for.
That's amazing.
Then you said a full-time maintenance crew or maintenance guy or maintenance crew.
Yep, just a guy. So
Okay.
he takes care of all the properties. He'll do repairs. He'll set up new furniture. We moved one property to another. The furniture, it just wasn't hitting our profit margins. So he handled that process along with a couple other guys we hired part-time. Yeah, he's great. He's been running maintenance for 25 years in another management company. We hired him to kind of take care of our portfolio, and he's been fantastic.
That's awesome.
Jeez Louise.
So what's the I mean, maintenance is always a difficult category to fill, right?
Yeah.
It's probably one of the most critical pieces to keep things running on a regular basis. But how did you find a maintenance guy that you trusted, and how many did you have to go through to find that?
So we went through 3 before we found him.
Okay. That's not too bad.
No, not too terribly bad. But you know, if you think about the time period too, it hasn't been that long. So January of last year, I had no employees.
Wow.
It was just me. Just me. I was handling all the maintenance. I was scheduling the cleaners. I was handling all the communications, everything. I was working from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day.
How many units?
And
Wow.
25.
You were doing
Sorry, my
20
light keeps going off.
Wow.
25 units myself. And then one day I was just like, this is enough. Like I'm going insane. I couldn't keep up with everything. You know, I mean, he has a full-time job running around taking care of all the properties. So imagine me doing his job, plus Candace, my assistant's job, all the communications, bills, everything. And then, you know, my job trying to continue to grow as well. So it was a headache, to say the least.
I have to ask this because this definitely fits in, and I know I want to reach your other 2 points in further detail too, but what strikes me immediately is, because we're looking for that. We're looking for this to not be another 9 to 5 or more like you, like a 14, 15-hour day. What did that process look like? You're just like, I have to hire anybody and hire this out. Obviously, that's going to be an expense, but it's going to be worth it. What did that look like?
Yeah. So, you know, I see my job as a company owner is to find money producing activities and to do those only. So anything like paying bills, guest communications, anything that I can sub out to somebody for less than what I would say my average dollar per hour is, that's what I did. You know, I was making plenty of money at the time. I just didn't in my mind, I thought I didn't have time to stop and try to hire somebody because I was so busy. But, as soon as you take the time and you find somebody and you train them and you write that process down so that the next training process isn't as hard, it takes so much off of you. Now you can do 3-4 times what you were doing before. And I didn't realize that until I started hiring people, and I hired like 4 people in 1 week.
Wow.
I hired a property manager, which later we took him out of the equation. Just thought it was something we didn't need. I hired my assistant, Candace. I hired a maintenance guy and a cleaning manager all in 1 week.
Wow.
Wow.
So, and that took your hours from 24 down to 22.
Yeah, I mean, so I'd say the first 45 days, I was still working about the same because they
Yeah.
didn't know their job yet. And now I
Right.
had 4 people at once I had to train.
Right.
But after about the 45 to 60 day mark, it took my weekly hours from 100 down to maybe 20. I just
Wow.
wasn't working that much at all.
Wow. And then from that point, you were able to scale from 25 up to 33.
Yeah,
That's-
well, we had 45 at one time.
Okay.
That was our highest.
That was part of the Arizona.
Yeah, that was part of the Arizona and the Texas properties. And then, those were failures, I guess you would say, but it taught us a lot. We learned a ton of valuable lessons from that, and it helped us get in a better position overall.
So-
The dream. That's the dream.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So what was our second one was
When something works, you got to double down.
speculation. That
Oh,
was the
sorry.
third
No,
one,
that's
right?
third. Thank you. Yeah.
So speculation, right?
Never invest in speculation. That
Yeah.
is something I need to hear.
So okay, well let's some of our folks may not know the difference between or what speculation is and what's the alternative.
Yeah, absolutely. So the opposite of speculation is confidence.
Okay.
It's knowing that you're going into a market that you're confident in, the numbers, you don't have doubts that it's going to be profitable.
Yeah.
That's the opposite of speculation.
Got it. So obviously if I'm thinking that if people will watch yesterday's episode, you dropped a lot of nuggets on yesterday's, but real quick, recap like a couple of the things that you would do to prevent that speculation mindset.
Yeah, so look at the data first. Look at sites like AirDNA, Match Advisor, STR Insights, and then Airbnb as a traveler app, which will show you what's available, how it's performing, how many reviews they have, what their occupancy level looks like in the calendar. So like one easy hack is to just set up a mock stay on the Airbnb traveler app. And if you go to the calendar for each individual property, you'll see that it has blocked off days. They'll have lines through the dates that shows you they're booked. So then you can determine the occupancy level from looking at the calendar. And then if you look at what they're charging per night, now you have a general idea of how much they're making per month. So that's a quick free way that you can analyze a property and then look at how many reviews they have. So like one of the and I guess this could be a fourth tip for success, and is kind of one of the big
Bonus tip.
and the bonus tip.
Always going above and beyond. We love you, Quentin.
That's right. This was one of the things that really opened my mind because it added 10,000 a month in our revenue by not doing anything else but this. Is whenever you're approaching your properties, you want to try to model them. So Tony Robbins talks about if somebody is successful and they're achieving the results that you want to achieve, then all you have to do is model what actions they're taking to achieve that success. Wow. So I took this to the Airbnb world. I looked at what amenities the properties had, what their listings looked like, what arrangement their pictures were in, what was in their description. If there's an attraction nearby, are they talking about that in their description? And then basically ethically copied their listings,
Yep.
and it increased our profits by 10,000 a month.
Wow.
Holy
That
cow.
one thing we had, I think we had around 38 properties at the time. So you can do the math there.
Okay, so
$300 a
so
month.
just for
property.
our listeners and doing easy math, I know some people hate doing math. $10,000 a month is a six-figure increase.
Yeah.
Six-figure increase.
That's
Quentin's
insane.
dropping gold on us.
Yes.
All right,
that's
man.
Insane.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it definitely made a huge difference for us. And now whenever we start new properties, that's the first thing we do. We go and look into the market, see what the top performers look like. We model our listings off of those, our decor, what number of beds they have, what the bedding looks like, everything. We model it off of that. And then we put our own twist on it to try to improve it. But that allows us to perform at the top
Yeah.
level in almost any market.
That's amazing. So
Holy cow.
if you were to guide somebody to avoid speculation in their business, what do you think causes speculation? First off,
Lack of knowledge,
lack of knowledge.
lack of
Okay.
knowledge, and also laziness. They don't want to do the work to learn about what's going on in the market.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Do you think
And
there's an old ancient biblical principle that kind of comes to mind when you're saying that? It's zeal without knowledge leads to destruction, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's that excitement, wanting to get a deal so bad that they're lazy about doing all the necessary steps to build the foundation.
Definitely.
Is what I'm hearing.
No.
Definitely. And I just got off the phone with a potential client. He hasn't signed up with us yet, but he has 4 units. And I want to say he said Indianapolis. But essentially what he was telling me is he was so eager to get into Airbnb and the properties and set them up. They put way too much money into them. He didn't know his numbers. And again, he invested speculatively. He had no idea what they were actually going to make. He just saw that they were Airbnbs in the area. So he went and signed a couple leases and took on as many as he could.
Wow.
And now he's losing money every single month. So as sad as it is, it's
That's
easily
a
avoidable.
Well, that
Yep.
goes back to what you were saying earlier about making sure that this really is a business. You're not just doing a side hustle, but you've got to run it as a business. You got to slow down in order to go faster. And
don't be emotional with it. Don't be
right.
emotional. He on the phone, he's telling me, well, I love these properties so much. They're so beautiful. I was like, yeah, man. Well, so is being able to take care of your family. That's beautiful too. And you can get more properties, but you can't get a new family. And financial strain, sorry, I had this on do not disturb. Financial strain can definitely tear a family apart. So you have to make sure that when you invest, when you take on liabilities like this, that you're doing it in a smart way.
That's awesome.
I love the build up, one property at a time and then grow from there. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, Quentin, I think we're going to have you on again because we're man, unfortunately we're out of time, but before we go, you've got a big event coming up.
Yes.
And you also provide coaching. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how people can get in touch with you and what's going on with the event?
Yeah, definitely. So they can reach me on Instagram or Facebook. On Facebook, I'm Quentin West, and Instagram, I'm Q Deals Homes, just as it sounds. Our upcoming event is on May 12th. It's a full day event talking about everything in real estate, Airbnb, apartment syndication, mobile home parks, self-storage. We've got guys, that are kind of just starting out, just starting to get big, right around the $1 million portfolio value. And then we have guys all the way up to $62 million in apartments, making, millions every month. So I really think we have something for everybody. Anybody that wants to learn about real estate investing, this is truly an event you don't want to miss.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we're going to make sure to add a little teaser that you created for us on the back end of this. So make sure our subscribers understand that, you know, if you're interested in this event, you're down in the Carolinas, you know, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, whatever. If you're close by, you don't want to miss this event. I mean, just spend 40 minutes and watch today's podcast and yesterday's podcast, and you're going to see that you do not want to miss this event. But watch the trailer at the end and check out, subscribe below. Make sure you go check out Quentin, do some coaching with him. If this is a space that you want to get into to get your life in the flow and to take care of your family, guys, this has been amazing.
Yes.
You have any closing remarks, Doc?
I'm just honored to have you on.
Yeah.
I think that you again, you talked highly about Airbnb, but man, juicy tips throughout that people can use throughout all of their business. It's the mindset shift. It's setting things up as a business, not just cheaply and being quick to speculation and stuff like that. I mean, you drop some knowledge bombs that are going to help us that aren't in the Airbnb space. So thank you for being so applicable, man. But golly, I wish we could come out to your event. Next one you're hosting in New Mexico somewhere, we're partnering or something.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
We'd love to do something with you. Well, man, Quentin, it's been awesome having you. We appreciate you being on the show. And it's, as Doc said, it's been such an honor. So guys, get in the flow.
See you later, guys.